Hey everybody, welcome to another MerlinCast. It's I, Merlin, of course. I got a couple guests with me. I've got Dickey over here.
Hello.
Got Nick over there.
Yo.
And I got Bass Xevrix over here.
Greetings and salutations.
We've got a couple interesting topics for you tonight, just some general discussion on things. I believe, Dickey, you had something about video games. Dark Souls was a topic we were ready to come back to again?
Yes.
What was that?
I wanted to ask, because there's a lot of really interesting lore that's like really hidden in Dark Souls games.
Oh, I just fucking ignore it, dude. I just kill shit. Like, that's what I'm there for. Just killing shit and dungeon grinding.
But do you feel that way about every RPG, or is that just Dark Souls?
No, I think that's like me in every RPG.
So you're saying up like it's Elder Scrolls, you don't look through the books?
No, I'm just a dungeon grinder.
You've never read Les the Argonian Maid?
No.
Volumes 1 through 5?
No, I usually just throw books around because they're entertaining. Like,
Because I mean, like I'll come across something like Skyrim the other day. It was like, Thief Volume 1. Like, you can pick them up, continue the story, and just thinking to myself, you could literally spend probably hours and hours, maybe days worth of gameplay just reading all the books.
I mean, okay.
If you really want to, and I think that's kind of cool.
I never read the books, but I did collect them.
So you're a collector of
I tried to collect like one of every book in Skyrim.
Okay.
And I put them on shelves in my house, yeah.
All right, well, okay. So you had the appearance of being a well-read adventure.
I do not care.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, not to divert, but does anyone care? Because I personally think going along with the lore, when you can really get immersed into it, like my experiences with KOTOR and Mass Effect and other games like that, I think the backstory and learning things is very interesting because that's how I get immersed into the world. I mean, I know some people, and I guess that's one of the benefits of those types of games. You can approach it from various angles. If you just want to dungeon grind and kill things, level up, that's cool. If you want to just do the side quests and really get into your character, that's cool. Or if you really want to take time to really explore the lore in your downtime, that's cool too. But yeah, I don't know if any one of them. I think it might depend on the game, like how important it is to each one.
Yeah, I mean, I paid attention to the lore in KOTOR. I did.
Okay.
Mostly.
Towards
the end, I started just skipping the conversation. It was like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, after a certain point, I guess if you have any basic, general Star Wars knowledge, you're probably okay. But but I remember, I think that's one of the best examples for me for an RPG that I really got into. I think I had the benefit of really being into Star Wars beforehand. But I remember, because that was my first exposure in a game setting anyway, to the expanded universe. So I really liked a lot of the backstory I got from the Jedi temples and stuff. But, that's just adding on, right?
There's a game called Destiny where I think the lore, being a part of the game, wasn't handled very well. Because you had to eject yourself from the game and go onto an app on your phone after collecting in-game items.
Just sounds like too much work.
Yeah, it was like the adventure of finding the ghosts that had the data on them was cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But not having like a centralized place within the actual game to go and read them like a library or something. That was just.
And it seems like it would be such an easy thing to implement.
Yeah,
because you've got the warlocks, which are literally just wizards. They're space wizards. They have space magic. You've got the speaker. The speaker could have housed, an entire compendium.
He really could have.
That would have given him some use.
Go out and find all these ghosts. I'll tell you where we have sightings or where people died last, and go there and find them, and you can read them here. But not just find them out in the wild, go on your phone, read it. And it's a lot of really interesting stuff, too.
Oh, dude, absolutely. How in the King's Fall DLC with the Book of Shadows.
Oh, man.
The Books of Shadows with the calcified fragments. Dude, that... I remember spending, an hour or two after collecting 49 of the 50. Because I needed to kill Golgoroth on hard mode, on challenge mode.
Dumbest fucking thing.
It was. I still don't have that calcified fragment.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
See, I'm really big in collectibles in games. I would really go hard to collect them, but I don't really care anything about them. I really don't. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to fill out a number.
You're just doing it for the challenge?
Yeah.
I feel like Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong Country are your favorite games.
Dude, no.
Collect everything.
I actually know the majority of the lore for WoW. For a lot of the dungeons and all the little quests, and
Nick,
like I know a lot of that. It's weird.
To be fair, though, that's because you played WoW for years.
Yeah, I mean, once you go through the quest like the third time, you're like, all right, actually, what am I doing? What is going on here?
Why am I here? Why am I killing this thing? Why is this thing a danger to everyone else? Or am I just being an asshole?
Yeah, or like new expansions, I'll try to be like, all right, what are we doing here on this new continent that no one knew about before?
Don't worry about it.
They're all looking at a spider.
There was a spider on the floor.
There was a spider on the underside of my knee, and I brushed it off, and I'm like, oh, I felt something. What was that?
Yeah.
It's just a spider.
Yeah. We got a spider
Oh,
joining us.
shit.
Yeah. So, Spider, what do you think about video games?
Spider noticed that we're looking at him, so that he's afraid now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to give you stage fright.
Let's see.
But as far as, I think we kind of got diverted from your point.
Yeah. Let's go back to Dark Souls here.
The actual question, I think you actually were getting to about lore in video games, if that was related to anything. Was there a question? I kind of butted in.
No, it's okay.
Was it about game mechanics, or was it just about lore in video games specifically?
I think it was... Yeah, I think I was going to ask more about lore, but I wanted to use Dark Souls as a starting point.
Okay.
It's like, it's really lore heavy outside of gameplay.
Well, I mean, I'll admit I'm not the most well-versed in Dark Souls, but I remember, based upon what I've learned and the little bit that I played, I really thought the story seemed really intriguing, and it has a very unique world that, even from a visual component, automatically you're hooked into it. It's definitely set in, and I can tell there's a lot of backstory, which you do have to unravel, because they don't tell you what's going on initially.
Right.
It's just creepy atmosphere, and then you can pick and choose and learn a bit more. And I think depending on how you play the game, you could potentially beat it and still not know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. You can beat it in like 15, 30 minutes just being a dude in your underwear.
I mean,
yeah, if you're trying really,
really hard.
What's Dark Souls?
1, 2, or 3. Or Demon Souls.
Was it 2? I think it was 2.
No, you had to defeat all the bosses before you could unlock the final boss.
In 2, yeah, that's right.
You can't speedrun 2 like that. Demon Souls is like the same way, because you have to unlock the new areas.
1, there are only like a few mandatory.
Yeah, 1 is probably
bosses.
the one you're thinking of.
3, there are only... I think there are only 6 or 7 mandatory bosses.
See, like, I was so big into Dark Souls. This really disappoints me. I bought Dark Souls 3. Mm-hmm. I think I beat the first boss, and that's as far as I've gotten in that game.
Really? You only got as far as Vort? Or Gundyr? Tutorial area or big
I beat the tutorial
big
boss.
frosty dog?
I beat the Sea Dog, yeah.
Okay.
That's as far as I got. But it's like, I have it for console. I have it for PC. I've always played it for console. Like, I've even beaten Demon Souls and I've beaten Dark Souls. I didn't beat Dark Souls 2. I got pretty close, but I just was like, this is like easy. It was easy after a while. I'm sorry, guys.
You beat Demon Souls.
No. Yes.
You're a fucking masochist.
Demon Souls is fun, dude. That was my shit. I remember getting that. That was good. It was a good day.
But as far as other lore in games, I mean, I don't know. Do you think Dark Souls has like the best lore, or
no? I mean,
are the most accessible lore?
I mean, honestly, I think WoW has the best lore.
Well, why?
Because there's just because there's so much of it.
Okay.
There's so much to there's so many details to everything. If you really go into it.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, the story isn't great, but
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. My impression of the story was that, I guess, on a very general sense, it's pretty basic. And it's not the smartest thing in the world, but you're right. I guess there is a really detailed world that's fleshed out if you want to explore it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Is that just a good thing for the essentials of the game, or is it just a bonus?
Probably a bonus. I think a lot of I think there's two large players when it comes to video games. I think there's people who play video games competitively and try to min-max, and I think there's people who play video games just for the experience.
Yeah, or both, I guess. But you're right. I think you're right. There's two big sides to it. There's the competitive angle and just the experience.
Well, And in that vein, it doesn't even need to be video games. Like, it can be board games. It can be tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, games in general.
Yeah, gaming in general. You're right. There are two sides. That's true. And some people might get more into one than the other. That's a good point.
I know
So if it's lore based, it's probably just more for the experience.
Yeah.
Unless there is maybe some attribute that goes along with maybe collecting things or grinding through things that if you want to learn something, you have to work for it to get it.
You slowly learn it through like the half sentences that you've read.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Heavy Rain?
Yes, actually, yes.
Yeah.
Heavy Rain.
There was a game actually a lot like that, but it was a Capcom game based on the Hindu culture and somewhat beat 'em up fighting games. It was a story-driven game called Asura's Wrath.
I know that one.
Okay, yeah.
That game did extremely poor, but it's probably one of the best games of the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation.
Yeah, I heard that it was like really liked critically, but nobody bought it apparently.
Nobody bought it. It's DLC that prolonged the story. Actually, did a very good job of making the DLC absolutely worth it.
And that's hard to do because I know that a lot of DLC is kind of not important, and apparently it's just kind of a gimmick. Obviously,
I think actually that's more of a problem for like RPGs. DLC for RPGs is very, very poor for the most part.
why?
Because I feel like when you build an RPG game, you have one centralized story, and when you go for DLC, you're just making a small little branch on that big thing, and it turns into, I just spent $15 and I don't get, that much more. You beat it in 10 hours, or whatever.
Especially since most DLC comes out after the game is released.
True.
Yeah,
And so
You feel cheated
you're
by what you
already
bought.
through the entirety of the story.
exactly.
It's like,
You've already beat the whole story. And
I've
then-
either got to go through this area that's meant for level 15s at like level 50,
Yeah.
breeze through it and completely waste my time, or make an entirely new save file and waste my time playing the whole game over again
Well,
for
yeah.
the one DLC,
to experience
only
something.
to do that again for the second or third.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of times for RPGs, it's just they tack on something, so it's like this is what goes on after, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's just a minor thing in comparison to the whole RPG, and you're like, okay, they might add a new mechanic or a new,
That's
way
what
of.
I've been.
It's generally for RPGs it's pretty poor. I mean, for like RTSs or like for first-person shooters, they're
Fighting
usually
games,
pretty
yeah.
good, or like
Oh, yeah.
strategy games,
Now,
or
is that a problem in WoW? Because
the expansions.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. See, here's the thing. I wouldn't consider WoW an RPG. I would consider it an MMO as a different category, as another beast. Because like, you're playing WoW to like. When you play an MMO, you're playing to play with other people.
Mm-hmm.
You're not playing to experience something. In a sense,
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
RPGs are more played for experience.
I wish someone would make an RPG that, like, okay, you finish the story. Here it is, like, a couple years later, and, like, same disc, same everything, but you just pay, like, maybe $20 for a completely new story that continues from, like, your height of a level.
That's called WoW, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That's exactly what they do.
It's called,
But you want like an immersive
Every 2
RPG
years.
that does
yeah,
that,
I want, like, an immersive RPG that does that.
But it actually continues it. But if you've completed the game,
Yeah.
well, don't they typically do that just with sequels?
Yeah, it's like a sequel.
Yeah.
Like
But
BioWare.
you just don't want to
Yes.
buy a whole nother game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You want a whole nother game for not the price of a whole nother game. That's what you're saying to me right
I
now.
just wish I could get a
Pretty
whole other
much.
game, but cheaper.
But not the price of a whole.
That's funny.
Hey man, you guys say it, but I found a copy of For Honor for the PS4 on eBay for like $20.
Oh my god. I'm
You don't
so
see, like,
I'm so sad that game died the way it did. 'Cause it was a really good fucking
it
concept.
was really fun, but they're like they were like competing in the same space as League of Legends.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just can't do that.
No.
It's like
Especially-
Dota and League are the only ones.
Especially with how heavy like their microtransactions were, and then they just didn't fix that soon enough.
Well, it was
Then
between the microtransaction problems, the issues with their servers,
Yeah.
and just in general, like the game was short. You spent $60 for a full game, and it was a short game, and they expected you to play PvP, and the PvP wasn't even balanced.
It really wasn't.
And it's like, maybe in a few years or a year, if they keep giving it support, it'll be good. But
no, I think they're gonna scrap it soon and probably give a 4 Honor 2 like revamped and things, but it'll be
the same game.
Yeah.
Just
I'm not.
Don't kid yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the game I've been playing League recently too. Turns out I'm still good at that game. Turns out, I don't know.
Just don't do it anymore.
I don't know.
League is...
Well...
People still play League, right?
Yeah, a lot of people still play League.
It's really competitive. It's actually probably... Like, if you want to get into a pro gaming scene, that's probably the easiest way to go, is just be good at League.
Or CSGO.
They revamped... They recently revamped... I haven't looked over it. They recently revamped their whole way they approach pro teams and how they get sponsors and stuff, and Riot actually helps you guys to go to pro team. Like, I don't know. Apparently it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good when I look at it. Apparently it is good, so I don't know. Fuck.
Oh. How many players can you have now?
It's still 5 on 5v5 or...
Really?
3v3 is live, but nobody plays it, I don't think. Nobody plays it competitively. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's more like 5v5. 5v5 is more of like a challenge. It requires more strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People do play 3v3. People do try to play it competitively, but it's like...
It's still too new.
It's just a different format.
Okay.
It's not as different new. It's just different format.
All right. Well, I guess I'll transition. Trying to keep a look at the battery here. Doing okay.
Video games.
No, we did. That was actually pretty interesting. But yeah, I guess I know, Bass Xevrix, you want to talk a little bit about Dragon Ball. You guys know vaguely what's going on.
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm still like 40 episodes behind.
It's okay, because we could still talk about the general things that have happened. I know that.
I know the female Super Saiyan. I know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Which one?
But yeah, as far as what happened in Dragon Ball,
the Emperor of Evil is back again.
Frieza's back again
For like the 5th time.
You know,
Yes, who's
I
back?
feel like they're
That's
trying.
where I stopped. Actually, is when Frieza came back, and I was like, all right.
Okay, so you know how the Resurrection F arcs was kind of lackluster?
Well, it's because it had a movie that was better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they kind of kick shit off really fucking fast.
Mm-hmm. Because now they're trying to recruit him to join the team, right?
They have.
They did recruit him?
And they brought him back using the same method they did, bring Goku back in the Blue Arc.
Fortune Teller Baba.
Fortune Teller Baba. And, it's almost like an apology for that arc being so god awful.
Why is that?
Because first of all, Frieza's transformation is a lot better. It's
he
like
literally apologizes. At the end of the episode, he says, "I'm sorry. There won't be any complimentary service or something.
There won't be any time for something like that.
Yeah.
Before him and Goku have to basically defeat about a couple hundred guys that were sent from another universe.
They're all assassins. They're all just trying to take out Goku and Frieza.
So
what the fuck?
Or Goku and Frieza.
It's basically it's
It sounds like a bad fan service
it's
like
really
thing
not.
going on here.
Well, the thing is, first of all, Dragon Ball Super has basically become Mortal Kombat. And you know how in Mortal Kombat, Shao Kahn and everybody, they're always trying to get around the tournament, kill people.
Shao Kahn apologizes.
It sounds
Yeah, Shao Kahn apologizes. That's what it sounds like right now.
Oh, that's bringing that back. You can find the podcast to reference that one. But that's kind of what it's become. And I don't know, man. I've kind of got the feeling that really Dragon Ball Super mostly has just been all those fan fictions we wrote coming to fruition.
Oh, dude, 100%.
But the thing is, though, I mean, the one thing about it that's really good is they are expanding the world.
Yes.
You know, and they are like you'll go into this other universe.
God, it's gonna turn into One Piece. Yes, make it stop.
You joke, but that's pretty much what they're modeling. Is that like they'll take a time to go to a place and they'll flesh out everything, but they're also having the characters interact. Like 17 and Piccolo, kind of worked out their differences.
Yeah,
from their last fight.
I really thought they were about to go at it again, and then Piccolo just put out his hand, and I was like, What?
I don't want it to turn into One Piece.
But that's the thing.
I'm
It's
not
like,
gonna lie.
It's not going to turn into One Piece.
I wanted to end at some point.
It has an end. The end of
Anime.
Dragon Ball Z is the end.
Yeah.
It was a mistake.
Anime was
It was. I'm not gonna lie.
One Piece was a mistake. Bleach was a mistake.
well, every
The only thing that
shonen.
is pure is K-On!
Yeah, I think most shonens were mistakes.
Well, because they're good, but they got to go the Hakusho route of keeping things concise. Like none of these shows really had to go on, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that the standard of Dragon Ball Super is like you can tell that Toriyama he's not really directly writing this anymore, so he's got other people, and they're trying to emulate shows like One Piece where they're actually exploring the characters a bit more, and I guess that takes away a bit from the action.
You know, One Piece was really good, okay? The first, 100 episodes were really good.
Yeah.
Well, look, they diverted, and it's about the Navy and all the different pirates.
Are they even looking for One Piece anymore?
No.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend. Okay,
I'm not even going to pretend to know anything about it.
I don't.
I assume not.
I only know vaguely what's going on with the manga, but I know people that update things, and the One Piece hasn't come into conversation really in years. You know, because there's wars going on, and they go to these different towns, and Luffy's got to help with that. I mean, that's a bad joke, but literally, One Piece is a manga that is based around its filler.
It's
it has
a MacGuffin.
actual arcs that are filler.
It's a fucking One Piece is just a goddamn MacGuffin.
It is. They're never-
Money making.
It's a.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, finding the
It
One
does make
Piece.
some money.
Maybe the One Piece will be some riddle where it's like, oh, to become the best pirate, you had to go through all this stuff. There wasn't a One Piece.
To be the best pirate,
You got.
You have
which,
to have friendship.
which, by the way, you know
Nah,
what?
it's just a chest full of fucking rare gems.
Maybe it's just One Piece of gold, dude.
Yeah.
That'd be the best.
Well,
the real One Piece of friendship and love.
I did actually have a question about One Piece that I wanted to kind of ask someone about, which I've never really brought up. I want to get your guys' take on.
All right.
And I know there's an obvious answer is because it's a shonen and it's for teenagers.
For
Yeah.
kids, though.
No, put that aside.
Yeah.
Okay, but for kids though was great. No, but
Lollipops.
Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates are protagonists. They're good guys. They're good people. Nice people. They like to help people out.
They're not pirates.
But Luffy, why does Luffy want to be a pirate? I mean, I know that he obviously saw this one pirate guy, that he thought was really great and tried to emulate him. But doesn't he understand through all his experiences that generally pirates aren't good people? I mean, I know he knows this. Why does he want to still go after this title? I mean, adventurer, merchant, but why? There aren't really good pirates. Despite what Pirates of the Caribbean want you to think, these guys are good guys. They want to get treasure. They give it away half the time. They're bad pirates because they're good people, and I don't understand.
Disney has something about making pirates good people.
But pirates,
Disney has a show called Jake and the Neverland
Exactly.
Pirates. One of their end cards said, "Remember, kids, pirates don't steal."
Oh, yeah.
I've
seen that.
That's what pirates do. I don't know if you. I don't think Disney understands what a pirate is.
Pirates are the gangsters of the sea.
Yeah.
Like that's what they are. They're not historically they're not good people. And I want to say it's like the mafia is romanticized, but even in all that stuff, you still know that generally the mobsters are bad guys.
Wow.
With pirates,
Scarface was taking care of somebody that was objectively bad. He's still a good guy, even though he's got mountains of coke and cash.
well, to be fair with Scarface, they do show at the end that crime doesn't pay.
Yeah.
Spoilers for anyone that doesn't know about Scarface how that ends, but I mean, yeah, I don't know.
God damn,
What's
his
your
name
guys'
is
take on the
Maybe they
whole-
called
How do
themselves
you think it
pirates
ends?
because, in the beginning, they kind of were, and
But
kind of stuck. And
But Bass, don't you remember that time that they went on the island? They found the guy that was stuck in the chest, and then they helped him. Like, if they were pirates, they should have tried to steal
I've
from.
repressed the 4Kids dub
That's,
from my
it's
memory.
not for kids. You can watch the Funimation dub. It's still it's an actual thing that still happened.
I tried to watch the Funimation dub, but Luffy's voice
Gohan.
bothers me
Gohan.
in any dub.
Yeah.
Yo, you know whose voice bothers me in every single dub?
Who?
Chris
Black-
Sabat.
No. Black Star from Soul Eater.
Oh, yeah.
I got used to his English dub, but his Japanese, no.
Both of the dubs
I
are
can't.
horrible.
Well, maybe that's one reason why I never liked that character that much because
He's a Naruto ripoff.
and he's also the thing about him being a Naruto ripoff is that you see Naruto was annoying, but at least he could back it up, And I didn't think Black Star really could back it up. He
Well,
was
that's
all
another
fun.
anime.
In the manga, he ends up being able
God
to back it
damn.
up later.
It's another beast.
But,
Naruto.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Hey,
It's over.
Naruto has an end. and another beginning.
It's Boruto. It's still going. Naruto's still technically going.
It has like Naruto.
It's the time of Boruto.
Yeah, I have.
No love for.
I mean, his name is Boruto, so it's got to be boring, right?
No, it's actually not.
Actually, I've heard most people say it's kind of like old Naruto.
It really is.
It's good.
But
Like,
it's
around the time of the tuning exams is what I'd say.
That sounds pretty alright.
I mean,
That was up to where I watched, so yeah, that's okay.
well, that's where most people's fond memories end. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the Akatsuki were kind of interesting, but
Yeah.
every arc it goes on too long,
Yeah, I agree. Fuck.
I don't think any arc will be as annoying as the fucking Aizen arc from Bleach.
You mean most of the show?
I'm glad I never watched that show.
Same.
It's like, well, yeah, actually, that's if there was like a pie chart of Bleach, it would be you've got the initial arc with Rukia, and then you got the Soul Society, Rukia's rescue, and then you've got the whole arc, which is Wikamundo, and it's Aizen. It's all Aizen.
Oh, fucking Aizen.
And I don't want to hate on Bleach because I always do, but the thing about it is, after all that time with Aizen being built up as the main bad, he was working for someone else.
That pissed me off the most.
I was like, no, he's the main villain.
No.
That's
He's
ridiculous.
the big bad. Ichigo got his Super
just wanted
Saiyan
to
4
keep
transformation. The show is over.
But
the manga is over.
Honestly, I knew, for me, that show went down when Ichigo literally had every power that he possibly couldn't have had. Like, he's got the powers of Quincy's, and when it's literally a bloodline power, that's where that... It got dumb.
That's good, dude.
No, Bleach...
sounds good.
No, in all... No, the thing that pisses me off in a lot of these shows, but Bleach in particular, is that I legitimately really liked it in the beginning. Like, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
For what it was. It was like a horror, anime, and it had a lot of interesting themes that it was going to explore, and it looked cool, and the monsters were really cool, and then it just became like every other one of those shows, and it's
in the back of my mind,
derivative.
I think about the Soul Society arc, and I think that's when I actually started to notice the show deteriorating. Because even with this time limit, you have to save Rukia. It felt like it dragged on for so long.
Well, if you read manga, that usually cuts down on it. But the one manga where I can honestly say it doesn't feel like it cuts down on it that much. One Piece.
Yeah.
Because the manga just keeps on going. But
They're at
It makes Toei money,
they're at least
900 something.
900.
Yeah, they're in the.
They're close to 1,000. They have surpassed the number of episodes of Case Closed.
Yeah, I think they're the longest running, at least modern one, ongoing.
God damn.
Which is impressive. I mean, it's still really popular in Japan. People like it here. I mean, if people like it, it's fine. It's just that the thing about it is, it's one of those.
I can't imagine just
It's
owning
basically
all those books.
it's basically the
People do.
It's basically not the Odyssey, the Ulysses.
No, you got Odyssey, right?
Yeah, Odysseys. The Odyssey of manga. It's very daunting. You can't really start right now.
Well,
I mean, you could, but you'd
But I
be giving
finished
away
that book.
a large chunk of your life.
Let me ask you this then. As far as long-running franchises go, do you guys think it's more daunting to get into something that has like an established chronology, or is it better or worse than getting into something that kind of bounces around like comic books or Doctor Who or Star Trek? Like there's chronology, but that's more confusing. I noticed with manga, it's like you have a chapter 1 to 100 or whatever you can get into, but if there's so much of it,
I think it's much easier to get into comics because every so often there'll be a giant reboot or renewal of the series. It'll cut a lot of things out that you don't need and that you can go back and read that are just normally essential, and then you're set. And if you want to read any of that stuff, you can. But with manga, it's like, here's all of this.
good luck.
Good luck.
I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I read the entirety of My Hero Academia in 2 days just to get current.
Oh, dude, I watched the whole show in 2 days.
So
Was there a chapter Thursday?
I don't think so. No,
I don't know. I didn't
see
check.
That's the second time this month they've skipped out on it.
So, Dickey, would you say that it's not that daunting?
I mean, My Hero is still
It's pretty short, though.
really new.
It's under 200.
Yeah, It's like
Not even 150, actually.
yeah, it's just under 140. So like it's not that daunting, especially if you'd already watched the anime. And so because like I read from chapter 20 to current in 2 days.
And that's the thing I like about My Hero Academia. Like
They
chapters
follow the manga really
well. And
really
you can,
closely.
Like if you read the manga, you can see right here's going to be the end of the next season. Here's the beginning of the next season. Here's the end of the next season, and so on and so on.
That's unusual.
They do really good with
And the animation
making the arcs really defined.
in such a short time
but
too.
also still having a really nice overarching story.
Like the character deck, you can physically see this kid getting stronger as time goes by.
That's unusual.
Like he doesn't have plot armor.
That's good. I hate that.
His plot armor is
if you-
destroying his body.
Pretty much.
That's just fucking hilarious. I love that. Every time. Just the floppy arm.
Hurts so much. But yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, I think that was pretty good for topics. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap up? We still got some banner power.
What was your question even?
Oh, did we answer your question?
Yeah, I don't
about
think we
Dragon
answered
Ball Super. Yeah,
It wasn't really a question. It was much just a kind of discussion.
Well-
Frieza's transformation was fucking awesome. He was a giant beacon of light in the night that looked like it was something of hope, but it would like you could see it from
it's
the
Frieza.
other half of the planet, and it's like, oh my god, here's this giant glowing light. There must be angels coming down. No, it's the fucking Emperor of Evil.
So they're still saying that he's evil.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, he's got to
He's
be
very evil. He murdered a guy. He murdered the first guy he saw besides Goku
Yeah, and Baba,
and Baba.
God damn.
and probably King Yama, because he more than likely had to go through
probably.
customs.
Oh, God.
Poor King Yama. That guy.
Yeah, man.
Actually,
I like that guy.
there must be some weird loophole that he uses to keep these people restrained because.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he obviously has dealt with a lot of powerful people in the afterlife
Constantly.
all the time.
You know who it is? It's the two ogres from HFIL.
No, they're not canon. They're not canon. No, they were pretty good.
Honestly, all of the filler stuff from the afterlife I really liked.
Well, once again, that's one of the things I liked about Dragon Ball is I thought a lot of the filler actually expanded things. Like,
Yeah.
I missed the Grand Kai.
like it was more interesting for Goku to kind of fall off and have a couple of different obstacles instead of just running. You know,
Yeah.
it made it more interesting. Like the snake.
Yeah. The princess.
Princess Snake lady, she was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
She was really cool.
You know, like that was cool. That was more interesting than just even just a fight.
I wonder if he runs past that every time.
Hey, remember me? Did she ever get untied because you
Probably.
tied her up? Yeah, probably.
he's
Wait,
probably fine.
was she a denizen of good or evil? Because she was a guardian. Wait, but she
She
was.
wasn't really.
Was she?
She ate people that ran along Snake Way, so I'm gonna say evil.
I guess she was below Snake Way, so she probably was in hell. But
Probably.
I don't know. Wow, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
She's
know.
in that weird spot.
Yeah,
But
that weird
I
spot.
want to say evil, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she did try to eat him alive, so she's evil. That's true. But yeah, man, I will admit, my initial reaction to Frieza coming back again was like, can't we do something more original? But
No.
Like
The next original thing
Cell.
is animate the Dragon Ball.
Cell's. It's not even like that. I think Cell is a radically better villain than Frieza, but it's just that Frieza has been done to death, especially recently.
Yeah.
Cell needs to get some love again.
Yeah.
He was a good villain.
Doesn't get some love.
But Cell's like just pure evil, dude.
So is Frieza.
Buu. Why would you make him sleep after he slept in the last tournament?
I know, that really fucking pissed me off. Also, I don't know if they can bring Cell back or if he even had a soul.
Yeah.
Well,
'Cause he's-
actually, yes. Remember,
He was also... Wasn't he from the future, too?
He
Yeah.
was
Yes.
he was from the future, but they actually did show, and this is canon. They have shown that he was in the afterlife somewhere.
Okay.
So they don't do much with him in the manga, but he is there.
Okay.
Pretty sure. So I think it's possible. I'm gonna say that Cell had a soul because he was.
No.
No, you think he was soulless?
No.
Do artificial creations
what
have a
was-
soul?
Well, I mean,
What was the tiny comic relief girl?
Hero? Or girl?
She beat up
Ariel?
Vegeta. Yeah,
All right.
Arali.
Raleigh. Yeah,
She beat up Vegeta.
put her
From
on
Dr.
Universe
Slump.
Why was she not on the Universe 17?
That's
Because
right.
she's a gag character
but-
and would break literally everything.
She's like
Yeah.
she's like One Punch Man. Yeah, she's like Saitama. Because like she exists in that universe though. Dr. Slump is the same. She could kick everyone. They should recruit her on the team.
if you introduce Orali and Zeno takes fucking interest in her, you give yourself a god conundrum. Can God move an immovable mountain?
then he'll have to reach that point where
That's the point where you break the show,
No,
Joe.
no, I'm just saying that
That's
would
when
be
it
great.
becomes Naruto, dude.
Like God literally meets this like being that defies all logic in this universe, which is ridiculous. He's like, wow, I can't beat this little girl even though I'm God. I guess we'll just sell everything and I'll end this tournament. We don't have to kill her, but
Yeah, like,
you know,
fuck.
there you go.
GG, go home, guys.
You know?
GG, go home. Even two gods can't kill one little girl.
Oh man, you're right. That'd probably be a bad idea, but maybe they could depower her somehow. I don't know, a little bit.
You can't depower a gag. It's physically impossible.
Is it?
That's what happened with Jar Jar, dude.
You know, he's right. Jar Jar was invincible because he was a gag character.
Yeah.
He had that.
Makes Jar Jar a gag character, sets the plot for the rest of Star Wars
Wait,
in motion.
I thought that was wait.
Guys,
wait a minute,
we're
wait,
done with
wait,
this horse.
Wait, is he?
It's been kicked enough already.
So wait, I was about to say, isn't he a Sith? I thought he was. You know,
He is a Sith Lord, yeah, but we're done.
it's official. You heard it here again. No debate. Darth Jar Jar is a thing.
We got in touch with Lucas.
Hey, you know what? He's not doing anything. I'm sure he'd be willing to answer. Well, you're saying,
You might be.
people didn't understand the nuances. I did say Jar Jar was the key to everything, but you know, the fans didn't like him, so had to push him away. But people are picking up on it now. It was more brilliant than you thought the first time. Guys.
No, even people working with you were like, here's a scene where he gets run over with a tank.
Yeah, people. Look,
I really hate Jar Jar.
I don't hate Jar
I
Jar
don't,
either.
like-
I don't. I feel like he's harmless.
Yeah, he really is.
He
In
took
comparison
down-
to the whole
Except
first
for-
3 movies,
He's not the
least
worst
of
thing.
my cause. Like,
No, I mean,
shit.
I know we talked about this again, but like in terms of like things that are bad about the Star Wars movies, I mean, like you've got a pod racing scene that's too long. You've got the whole midichlorian force like combination thing that doesn't make sense. You've got the whole second movie with Hayden Christensen's terrible acting and the worst romance ever written, and C-3PO's gag shit, which is really annoying. And, you know.
Why would you make C-3PO the gag character?
Because they had to cut Jar Jar.
Yes, all those scenes where he's like getting cut up and making one-liners and silly things are happening. Jar Jar was probably meant to be in those scenes. Like, think of it, makes sense.
Same rig, just replaced the model.
Exactly. You know, so yeah, I think Jar Jar. I think he was something that was easy to hate because people had high expectations. But in the sum of all the movies, I don't think he's the worst thing.
He's
Yeah.
also easy.
Speaking of Star Wars, how do you guys feel about the connections between the new movies and the original trilogy?
You mean like
Like
the
how
Admiral
they're
Thrawn book and
pretty much the exact same
You mean like the? Oh, you mean like the plots?
plots.
Yeah.
Well, I think that it was good for marketing to make movies that remind people a lot of the originals because those are
Yeah.
what people love.
Yeah.
But you watch them Force Awakens, you say, "Wow, this is literally almost beat for beat New Hope with a few little twists." I mean,
Yeah.
it's a. I didn't think it was the best thing ever, but
I mean, it's only the first one.
I think they're really concerned it was gonna end up like the Phantom
Like the
Menace.
prequel.
and people would have to show that, guys, this is the Star Wars you remember. And like I said, it was, but it was a little too much like it.
Yeah.
You also got to remember this is only like the first of the comeback.
And it's
and
Disney, dude.
There's still
They just want to make money.
Yeah, stick to what works, formulas. I do think you're right. I think the second one will probably take more chances, but once again, it's basically just to be The Empire Strikes Back.
I think
Yeah.
it's gonna fall back on the really, the really core ideas of Empire Strikes Back. Like you've got the parallel between Leia and Luke
Yeah.
in their respective movies.
Yeah.
With Luke in the new movie being Yoda in the old.
Yes, because you got to seek him out, and then Rey will probably get trained with him, and she'll overcome her fears about Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually Snoke will appear in the last movie, fully probably.
Yeah.
You know, and he'll be the, you know, I do think it's going to be very similar. Which, like I said, it's different enough on the surface that I don't think it's terrible, but
I think it's fine.
I think the cool thing about Star Wars is that there's such an expanded universe with all different kinds of stories.
And then they got rid of it.
Yeah,
That
almost none of that is canon.
But that's the thing. That's, for a lot of people, that's where the meat of Star Wars is and what everybody else has written around it. I think it would be interesting to see more of those elements in the new movies. But then again, the core movies are the core movies, so...
Yeah.
That's what Rebels is for. And Rebels is ending after its next season, which is going to be really sad.
Oh, there'll be more Star Wars, though. I feel like...
Yeah, Star Wars is one of those things that's just going to go on.
They have
and on
shit
and on.
planned, like...
years in advance.
Yeah.
It's going to go on and on and on until they decide to, remake the original 3.
All right. There's an elephant in the room, and we need to address it.
Samurai Jack?
Adam West.
Oh... yeah, Adam West died recently.
Oh, yeah.
Adam West. At the ripe old age of 88, one of Batman's best portrayers has
What do you
left
mean?
us.
The first.
He was
He was
the Batman.
Well,
The original Batman.
Not to be the nerd, but technically there were some serials in the 40s that came out before Adam West. But the first really popular one,
Yeah, from TV shows, yeah.
And, I wrote a little bit about this before, but I remember... I did kind of grow with it, like on reruns a little.
Oh, yeah, I remember watching it on reruns.
But as I got older and I got more into comics and I read a lot of the serious stuff and the darker Batman, I'm like, Batman has to be this way. And I think about Adam West and I was like, that's terrible. What are they doing to Batman? I hate it. Like, to be fair, I didn't actually sit down and watch him. And I saw it and I'm like, this is stupid. But once I realized that it was satire of comic books and it was funny, it was supposed to be a comedy, and that Adam West Batman was Batman. He was actually serious. He was like competent. He was like badass.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, Batman is still Batman. It's just in a ridiculous context.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
And that movie, like the 1966 Batman movie, is one of the best Batman movies. It holds up really well. It's fun, honestly.
I still want to
Hand
see
down
the
Bat Shark Repellent.
Shark Repellent. And what was the... I remember we actually all watched it a while back. Yeah. And what was the Riddler's joke? Like,
what weighs a few ounces, lives in a tree, and is incredibly dangerous? Well, golly gee, Batman, I got it. It's a sparrow with a machine gun.
I'm like, what? They are geniuses, because that was totally out of left field. And that's the kind of stuff that's just awesome. But it's very comic booky, but it embraces the silliness of comics, and
it embraces the golden age of comics very well.
Oh yeah.
And Adam West, he played it straight, and he was good. And I think one of the reasons Adam West was so successful is just because his presence, he had such a unique voice. You know, his voice is so cool.
And to think that he would do so many things in the animation world just because. People literally just asked him to by chance meetings and things. Mm-hmm. Like Catman and Fairly Odd Parents.
See, that's how I grew up with him.
He always just played himself.
You grew up as him playing himself.
Mayor Adam West.
Playing a caricature of a caricature of Batman.
No, but that's my favorite portrayal of Adam West, because before I even knew who it was, growing up with Batman the Animated Series, obviously created for fans of him because he was the Grey Ghost, which is literally one of my favorite episodes of the animated series, because it's about a character, Batman, who grows up watching this character that inspires him to become Batman, and it's actually a newer version of Batman watching the older version of Batman. But the actor that played the character in the show, the Grey Ghost, is Adam West, because he was really successful, but then no one took him seriously, and then he struggled, and then he comes back because he's appreciated. It's like, that episode works on so many levels. It's so good. And then I realized later, oh wait, they were talking about that. When I think of Adam West, I'm always like, the Grey Ghost, But yeah, that's a good episode if people haven't watched it. I think that's kind of just like a big swan song to Adam West Batman.
Was the last thing he did the animated movie they did for Batman and Robin?
I think that probably was, which, considering he was 88, that's pretty impressive. He was doing that.
Yeah.
I know that there was a pilot for a show that he was in, like a live action TV show. I don't remember the name of it.
Look it up, guys. Let us know in the comments.
Please do.
But it's sad he died, but he'll live old age, and he had a great
definitely.
career, so,
Yeah. And he is immortalized as Batman, just as Mark Hamill is immortalized as the Joker and the Trickster and Luke, and he's got so many avenues that you can enjoy his presence.
But you know who I'm always worried a little bit more about each year?
Betty White.
Betty White's up there. But come on, it's
Stan
more
Lee.
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
It's like 93.
They've pre-recorded like
He's 94.
He's 94 now?
Yeah. Or he might be turning 94.
He might be.
He's old as fuck.
He's
Yeah,
really
he's
old. And I think the only reason he's been alive so long is probably because, A,
Marvel money.
Marvel money gives him the best medical care. And he's also really happy.
Not even just Marvel money, DC money too.
Actually, that's right. Stanley has written for DC Comics, too. Yeah, that's
Nice.
Time to start doing some DC cameos.
Yeah.
They just should. Just like, what, there's like, I wonder, are the Stanley, Stanley cameos are probably Marvel rights. Because people, the saying, guys, you go to the Marvel movie, but you stay for the Stanley cameo.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He was even in the Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
He was in their
And
new
the original Spider-Man movies.
He's been doing cameos since the 90s. I think he was even in the original Nick Fury movie.
Yeah.
And,
Was he?
Yeah, he's been doing that for a long time. Though if you want, I think if any of you guys, you guys have probably seen it, but I think honestly the best Stanley cameo is not in a Marvel movie.
What is it called?
Anybody got it? Anybody know?
I don't know what it is. I don't.
Well, it's funny. It's one where he actually plays himself, and he actually has more than just a couple lines. He's got a small role.
He had an entire dialogue with this
with a comic book fan.
What was this movie?
Oh, I know what movie you're talking about. I don't know the name of it though.
It's the Kevin Smith movie, Mallrats.
Oh yeah.
Rats.
When he gives like some advice, some romantic advice to somebody, and the guy just keeps asking him questions about like the thing's penis and stuff, and he's like, "That doesn't really matter, but you gotta listen to me about this." He's like, "Your friend is nice, but he asks some very strange questions about superhero body parts." But Mallrats has probably still got the best one. But I think that's a very accurate representation of Stanley, probably, because he seems like that in real life. But cool guy. Hopefully he's around a while longer, but more cameos.
I know he's done with conventions on the East Coast after Rhode Island Comic Con last year.
He's 94.
Yeah, I would expect it to be done 10 years ago.
Yeah, most people would be. I think he probably just did it for the fans and because he wanted to.
Yeah.
But Stanley is awesome. It'll be a sad day when he goes, but I think he's one of those guys that I think even when that happens, people will still be smiling. Mm. But yeah, it's an interesting note to leave off on. Anything else, guys, or are we gonna wrap it up?
Did you guys all finally finish Samurai Jack?
Oh yeah,
That's I watched the whole thing.
What'd you think, Nick?
I sat down and watched the whole thing the other day. That was good.
Yeah. How did you feel about
The ending?
Joshi?
Joshi.
Jack and Ashi.
I thought it was fine. I didn't think there was anything. I mean, it was like
a little
it
rushed,
was
right?
fine. I mean, yeah, a little bit rushed. I would have liked it to all a little bit over,
You only
like,
had,
more than 4 episodes or whatever.
Only had like 11 episodes to go off of.
Yeah, I really. I know we talked a little about this last time, but I just wish they had gotten a little more into the main story earlier. I think they could have. There were a couple episodes that I think they didn't utilize their time quite as well.
Yeah, like I think the first 3 episodes were when they just didn't use
Could
it.
have been chopped down to maybe 1.5.
Like that. I still think my favorite moment in the show though was honestly when Jack was running from the assassins and he's actually about to get fucked for the first time.
Yes.
Like while you're like, and he's hiding, trying to hold his breath, and like they're still finding him somehow.
Yeah.
Like you've never seen Jack that vulnerable. That was probably my favorite moment because I'm like, Jack has never been on the run from everybody. It's intense. I liked that part a lot.
Yeah. What was I going to say? That's right.
Extra thick.
Yeah. Extra thick. I wish they fleshed out Aku a little more.
You know
He
what?
didn't have all that much presence in this last season.
He had good presence when he was there.
Yeah.
It was lacking. I think what they should have done was what they were building up
Have
to was
another
that,
season? That's what they should have done.
Yes,
Yeah.
but they should have done that.
A
But
whole season for Jack and a whole season for Aku.
just a coup.
Just a coup. Just another show.
To be fair, they did it for Justice League, where the last season of Unlimited was just Lex Luthor's show.
Pretty much.
In all fairness, but no, Aku. I think it would have been a good idea to build him up like they were, where he wasn't around. Like, just his presence was there. And then they cut to him later just ordering the pizza. I think they did that too soon. Like, okay, Aku's there. But because that part was purely for comedy, it didn't really jive with the rest of the show, which was like super dark for the first couple episodes. Wait, like, okay, this is like gritty Samurai Jack, but Aku's still just chilling.
I mean, it shows how fucking bored Aku was with everything after. After he couldn't do anything because he thought the samurai was gonna fucking kill him.
I mean, I guess looking into it a little bit more, it makes more sense because he was bored. Why he was still such a caricature? Because like he was just straight up a cartoon villain.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what he was.
Yeah.
He was a villain that was relatively one-dimensional.
He was a Powerpuff Girl.
I mean, literally, I mean, he was one-dimensional, but I think that's one of the things I like about Aku, is that he was, it's very hard to pull off a villain who could be as comedic some of the time, but also really menacing other times. Yeah. And that's the thing, he was one-dimensional, but he had a personality.
Yeah.
And that's tough to pull off. And to be honest, I think it was okay that he was one-dimensional because he was established as a natural force of evil.
Yeah.
And
his
that's
name literally means evil.
And his origin is really cool. And if you watch those episodes, they're really disturbing. I mean, that's the thing. He's evil. I mean, it's one of those instances you don't have to be two-dimensional with that.
And a trickster, too. Remember, he made Samurai Jack fall in love with him.
Yeah, that was probably the most messed up thing he ever did in the first season was pretends to be a woman that I guess through the color scheme you can probably tell who she is. Yeah, but then you're like, wow, that's really low, Aku. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah,
Aku.
And then he does it again. Spoilers in season 5.
Yeah, kind of does in a way.
Not intentionally. And I think that was fine, honestly. I think the whole season 5 together was very good. I mean, there was no real good twist at the end of the show. I mean, I guess it kind of was she was evil, but like
the thing about it was they already kind of went to that area because she worked for Aku, worshipped Aku.
Yeah,
basically she was sort of a daughter of Aku.
It wasn't a real twist. It didn't feel like
just like okay,
out of left field. Yeah,
spoilers. Literally, she's the daughter of Aku. When it adds an extra layer, but it kind of was already the same thing.
Yeah. It was really just to fuck with Jack's emotions, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it showed more of Jack's character. I feel like they really showed a lot of his character in this last season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was a lot more than they did in the other seasons. So.
I think it was really interesting, too, that they used a lot more dialogue.
Yeah.
They did use a lot more dialogue.
There weren't too many long stretches of silence.
Yeah, I think the original show was very good because of the amount of imagery they used as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they kept it balanced. I think they did a little more dialogue this time because they knew that this might be the last season. Yeah. So they wanted to explain some things, but they still had a lot of parades that were little dialogue.
There's a possibility that Gendy might want to continue it. I remember
it's a pretty
an interview where he was like, it could go on. If somebody wants to pick it up, I'd be happy to do it. But
what does he do? Does he go into the future and try to save her? Like
he is in a completely undeveloped era now. From the time he was, he has the ability to change.
It's a whole new timeline, yeah. And Aku's still technically there. He's just trapped in the sword now.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a question that wasn't answered at the end of Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
And that's whether he was still affected by the time portal or not.
Yeah.
Now that Aku is gone, his magic is gone. That makes it kind of a little shaky whether or not Jack will continue to age as a normal person or whether he's going to stay young forever.
I guess.
And if he is going to stay young forever, that raises the question as to whether or not he can meet with an alternate Ashi.
I don't know.
I kind of like the ending.
I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoyed the ending where it was.
You know what I wanted more of?
What?
Scaramouche.
Scaramouche, baby.
Was it just me, or did that guy look like a talking penis?
Yeah.
I was kind of sad to see the Guardian's glasses on the ground when he went back to the site.
I know there was some speculation over whether or not the Guardian would come back, and that's how Jack would go back in time. I feel like that would have been a little better than oh, Ashi was actually
Good
brothers.
Ashi. Good Aku.
Yeah.
Uraku.
Yeah, but we got what we got, and I'm glad for it.
It took
definitely.
years. I'm actually. It's
Yeah,
actually
13 years.
Oh, almost.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
actually, you're right. It did take 13 years, but it's actually better than what they originally planned. They were hoping for a movie. We got a whole season,
We did get
Yeah.
all season.
so that was cool. They wrapped it up. I think they could do more if they wanted to, but I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good enough wait. Maybe another 10 years from now,
Yeah.
we'll get a special or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll actually get a good Powerpuff Girls
Reboot.
Yeah.
Just watch the old ones. Just watch the old ones. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie's good. You know?
They're never gonna be the same.
I know this is going to sound
Shows
super,
are never gonna be the same.
This is going to sound super elitist of me, but I really hope that we go back to the formula that we had when, like, in the early 2000s for cartoons. Like, super highly episodic. You could pick it up at any point.
That'd
But
be
it
nice.
all had, like, one end goal. And hell, I'd even be happy with going back to that kind of style. Like, the cartoon
As opposed to
style.
one big storyline or multiple storylines.
I think
I
like
mean,
It's too much.
I mean, there are some things that are doing that, but you don't see it very often.
yeah.
Like with Adventure Time, you could jump into that at almost.
But there is a story though with Adventure
Yeah,
Time.
yeah.
there is a very deep story.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
In the
but
in
it's only
current
like
Adventure Time, there's story.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning of Adventure Time, there's
There-
not
there-
really.
Yeah, the
any-
first couple
anything.
seasons, yeah.
yeah, it was like that regular show. Regular show had a really good ending.
Mm-hmm.
I won't get into that one because Jesus Christ.
This
Adventure
podcast
Time,
is already
regular
pretty
show.
Yeah, it's already
Steven
over
Universe.
for a while.
Even the Adventures of Gumball had a little bit of an overarching story.
Well, I think it's good that a lot of these kid shows are getting more involved storylines because you know, it's challenging the kids more to stay tuned.
Yeah.
But I do think they need to mix it up and have more shows that are just episodic. Like I remember, like Fairly Odd Parents. You know, you could pop into that anytime.
Oh,
You
definitely.
know, without a storyline, but the individual stories were good.
Yeah.
I just think you need to mix it up. We need to have more shows that are
I
episodic.
remember
again.
back in my day when the kid could get shot in the school.
Gargoyles.
Yeah. Static Shock. That was
Static
that
Shock.
was one of them.
Yeah, they got away with a lot back then, actually. But once again, like even Batman, you know, really good episodic stories. But so it just depends. I think they should just mix it up.
I think we should end it there.
Yeah, I think we should. But pretty good podcast, guys. Thanks for coming. And I'll be posting some other things shortly. I'm gonna say goodbye. Dickey, say farewell.
Yeah. Goodbye, guys.
Nick,
All right. Thanks for watching. See you guys.
Face.
Listening.
Peace.
All right, stay nice.
Listening.
guys.
Well,
It's
you're not even
audio.
watching. You're just
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah, thanks for
Dude,
watching.
I hope you had a nice drive to work.
Hey, you know what? That's how people listen to it.
I know.